animals belonging from phylum Porifera to phylum Echinodermata are categorized as non-chordates. Non-chordates are animals without a notochord. Let's take a look at the important characteristic features of the phylum Porifera to the phylum Ascalanthes. The first phylum under non-chordates is Porifera. The members of this phylum are known as sponges.
1 minute here. Poriferan, we are going to start now with the phylums. Okay, now we are entering into the core teaching of the learning of animal kingdom. Under animal kingdom, as I said, three elaborated way it is divided. The first one is non-chordates. So first we are going to learn non-chordates. Then will come the some or two, 1, 2, 3 examples of you will learning of hemichordate, and then chordates. Chordates you know very well. Okay, underchordates you know it very well. You have learned it. Many examples around, so easy to you for remembering and learning. Coming to the first non-chordates, from Porifera, the first phylum, to Echinodermata, the last phylum of non-chordates. Okay, the first one we are going to learn, that is Porifera. If you remember, when we learned about the basis of classification, we have learned like all the basis of classification. When we learned Poriferan, where everyone taken the name, like they are asymmetrical, they are, so this comes their characteristic features, right? They're asymmetrical, they are acelomate, they are cellular level organization. So everything, the first character you will find the most simplest form of animals, if you say they are poriferans. Okay, and moreover we can say how the beautiful connectivity you see. Okay, the connectivity of from the plants to animals. When we say the first animal, or when we talk about animal kingdom, the first under the first phylum Porifera is a kind of you can see a kind of animals which cannot move. They are poriferans. You can see the figure which is on the screen right now. They are attached to the substratum. Substrata or substratum means something. It can be rock, it can be anything on which it is growing, right? Like a plant. Okay, so just see the example. The first example under the animal kingdom, the first phylum, our examples are showing some kind of similarity with plants. Okay, what similarity? That they are also attached. They can move, but cannot locomote. Like plants can move, they can also move, cannot locomote. They cannot move from one place to another. Right, so that is the beautiful example, and they're completely attached, completely marine. Okay, they are found in sea, they are found in they are aquatic in nature. From there the life is beginning. See, in animals also. Okay, now we will start.
These are primitive, multicellular, asymmetrical, marine animals with cellular level of organization. The body of sponges is supported by a skeleton made up of spicules or spongin fibers. Sponges have a water transport or canal system which helps in food gathering, respiratory exchange, and waste removal.
Just pause it here. Here, actually, I was telling you all the living organisms, when we talk about plants or animals, all need some kind of circulation, right? Vascular system, circulatory system. So in this multi-celled organism, they don't have any proper system, but they have got very well organized water vascular system. Water vascular system means they don't have organs like we have, respiration for breathing, to get the things in and out and for circulation. But since they're inside the water, they are growing in the water, so they have got a system which helps them to take the things in and remove the waste from the body. What it is, this is a water canal system, water vascular system. What you see here, this is known as ossiculum. Okay, what you see here, this is the ossiculum, and what you see, this small pores, no, between the two, this kind of pores, this is known as ostia. Okay, the whole body is having pores. That's why it is known as pore bearing animal. It is poriferans, means the meaning of poriferan is pore bearing animal. Completely body is proliferated, small apertures, holes are present throughout the body. So these pores, if you say, we call it as ostia. Okay, ostia, ostia. These ostia, from this ostia the water moves in. Okay, all water, when along with the water current, what happens? Along with the water current, not only water, food particles also enter inside along with the water current, right? All these places, all these ostias, all these small pores, the water enters. When the water enters, it brings food, it brings oxygen inside it. The cells that inside the cells are they are capable of imbibing that oxygen inside food inside each cell. Okay, and they use it. And what is waste? That is carbon dioxide as a respiratory waste, and the food waste, they throw it outside through the ossiculum. So the things enter inside through ostia, okay, the small apertures, and moves out in this direction. The waste moves out in this through ossiculum. This is ossiculum. Okay, so it moves through ostia inside, and the waste and the respiratory waste, all kind of waste moves out to the ossiculum. This is known as water vascular system or water canal system in poriferans. Okay, and this is how they get oxygen and food particle. And what principle they obey to get the things inside is, if you know the process of osmosis, it says osmosis and diffusion. It says from the concentration, from the higher concentration to the lower concentration, the things always move from a higher concentration to the lower concentration. So when the water currents come inside, they carry a lot of oxygen and food. So cells that don't have that much, so comparatively with from the cell inside the body cavity, what comes more, the water having more oxygen and food will give the condition of osmosis and carbon or diffusion, and the oxygen and the food will diffuse inside the cell. And since cell will be having more of carbon dioxide and waste, is it clear? Water vascular system or water canal system. Okay, so now we shall move ahead.
In this system, water enters through minute pores called the ostia into a central cavity called the spongiocele and comes out through the osculum. The spongiocele and the canals are lined with special cells called choanocytes or collar cells that help in the ingestion of food particles, followed by intracellular digestion. Sponges are hermaphrodite, and they reproduce asexually by fragmentation as well as sexually by formation of gametes. In sponges, fertilization is internal.
So the words are coming up. The words are coming up now. They won't every time explain you. Okay, they just told you and they are moving ahead. Now, as many phylums will learn, they will not explain you what is coelomate, what do you mean by asymmetric, what do you mean by radial symmetry. Already once we have explained, right? So the terms will come and move. You have to understand what the word means. Okay, same way here they have told you that the animal is hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite means bisexual, having both male and female organs in the same animal. So such animals are known as hermaphrodite. Again, I will say bisexual is the name, hermaphrodite is the name for the organisms having both male and female sex organs in the same plant, a same animal. Okay, so they are known as hermaphrodite. And in such, so what they do, they are saying they can exhibit both kind of reproduction. What they told you before, asexually also they can reproduce. The part can fall off. See how it is connected with the plant kingdom. Little bit reproductive system also connected. You can see how they are showing the same thing. The part can fall off, and that part, any part of that poriferans or spongilla can grow into a new animal. Okay, so that is asexual reproduction. While sexual reproduction, same way, the adult male, adult female, only adult can give, right? So adult male and female, they give rise to the sperm means male gamete and ova means female gamete. So the male and the female gamete, when they fuse, they give you a larva, which is, remember, the larva is motile. Okay, the larva is motile. So again, in their life cycle, they're showing some part of their life, a kind of little bit of locomotion. Okay, so the larva then further changes into a young sponge, then it becomes fixed to some substratum. Okay, so this was reproductive. So every time we are moving next, I will not pause it every time for coming up phylum. When they say it is bisexual, when they say it's what do you call it, the new terms, now till new terms is not coming, I will not pause. The terms will be like acelomate, coelomate, pseudocoelomate, or the terms incomplete, complete. I will not stop. Maybe one or two more times I may stop and tell you, explain you again, but you have to remember the terms and the meaning of that terms. Okay, yeah.
Indirect development. Cycon, Spongilla,
Okay, just a
and
new word.
Eutec.
A new word has come. A new word has come in reproduction. What happens when the reproduction takes place sexually, and like if I say this here also, the word larva came, right? Larva came, and larva then changed into adult or the young sponge. Anywhere, like if you talk about a higher grade animals also, like butterfly, there's a larval stage, right? Caterpillar is a larval stage here. Or if you talk about frogs also have a larval stage in which they have got tadpoles, right? Like this, any animal where there is a larval stage in between, from the sexual reproduction, after the gametes fuse and they form the zygote, and from the zygote, if the organism is not coming up, if there is some intermediate condition called as larval stage, like I told you, tadpole in frogs also, in mosquitoes also, in butterfly, caterpillar stage is the larval stage. Okay, so larval stage, if it is there, the reproduction is known as, in development is known as indirect development. Like us, if I give you another example, birds, they lay egg. Egg is also a zygote. Egg is also zygote, but the egg hatches out into the bird. It does not come into the form of some other form, larval stage, and then so such form, like human being. In human being also, the female gives birth to the young one. Okay, there is no larval stage. Such development is known as direct development. When there is no larval stage in between, it is known as direct development. If there is some kind of intermediate, some larval stage is found, and always remember, larval stage is very clear observed. You know how? Larval stage will be totally different from the adult. For example, can by seeing the beautiful butterfly, can we believe it's a larval stage is so ugly to see? The caterpillar is not beautiful, no, but the butterflies are very beautiful, right? Same way, if you see tadpoles of frog, can you believe a frog can have, if you don't, now you know the life cycle of it, but otherwise we cannot believe that a tadpole which lives in the water like this can become a mosquito later on, or can become a frog, because that lifestyle of theirs is totally different from that of their adulthood. So larval stage is always a little different stage from the main or adult phases. So that is easy to identify. So here also, that means the poriferans also exhibit a larval stage in which it can swim inside the water, can locomote and move. So that is totally different, right? They can locomote. So larval stage is there, and then they fix themselves somewhere and they grow into adults. So larval stage is there. So all those organisms have a larval stage in their life cycle. They are known as indirect development. Okay, and those who don't have, like human, like bird, like many other examples, reptiles, birds, human don't have larval stage. So they are called as, come under direct development. Okay, so direct and indirect development. Coming to the examples now. sporiferans, Cycon, sponge.
Some common examples of sponges. The second phylum is Coelenterata. The members of this phylum are aquatic, mostly marine, sessile or free-swimming, radially symmetrical, dipoblastic animals with tissue level of organization. Some coelenterids, like corals, have a skeletal structure made of calcium carbonate. Coelenterids have cnidoblasts on their tentacles and body, and hence this phylum is also known as Cnidaria. Cnidoblasts are used for anchorage, defense, and to capture prey. Coelenterids have a central gastrovascular cavity with a single opening called the hyperstome. Digestion in them is both extracellular and intracellular. Coelenterids exhibit two basic body forms, polyp and medusa. Polyp is a sessile and cylindrical form like hydra and adamsia, while medusa is umbrella-shaped and free-swimming like Ovelia. Some coelenterids, like Obelia, exist in both forms and exhibit alternation of generation. Polyps produce medusae asexually, and the medusae form polyps sexually. This phenomenon is called metagenesis.
Okay, here.
Common
Okay, coelenterids come under what are characters you heard right now for coelenterids? Can you repeat? Anybody randomly unmute yourself and say like they come under tissue level of organization, then radial symmetry, and then come on children, some characters you were saying you have heard right now. I said I will not pause in between because these are the terms which have been already told many times. So now again, but still, so you can understand that these animals are kept in the Coelenterata or coelenterids. They're also known as cnidarians. Okay, since they have got cnidoblast cells. Okay, and these are also aquatic. They're also marine animals found in water, and they have got radial symmetry. You can cut it into two equal half, but actually in a radial way, if you cut, you will get it into two equal parts. And then here the coelenterids have got beautiful examples. Okay, like hydra is one of the examples which have got totally it is also just like sporiferans, cannot move. It is also attached to the substratum. Okay, and there are completely you will find some like Obelia. Okay, Obelia is the example you will see, and some example in them they can freely move also. But if you see the examples of this Obelia also come under Coelenterata. Coelenterids, actually this Obelia, just now they showed you the life cycle of it. The life cycle of Obelia, you will see there are two forms. Okay, the form which cannot move, that means within their life cycle. Yes, exactly. This life cycle, if you see, this is Obelia. In this Obelia, you can see here, this is the Medusa form. Medusa form, and this is the polyp. Medusa is known as the free moving part of the the face of the life. Okay, this is Obelia. Okay, the adult Obelia, and you can see it also look like a plant, right? I'm telling you how much nicely classification been placed and kept. Metagenesis in Obelia means you will find alteration in their life. What Medusa is having, what you call it, on the, if you see on the, on the structure of this medusa, there are gametes present. Okay, the organs are present, sex organs are present, which can give rise to the eggs and sperms, ova and sperms, which will fertilize and give you egg, and this egg will hatch into larva. Now larva is there, that means that development is indirect. I told you just now, whenever there's a larval stage tells about indirect development. From there comes from the larva will grow into a polyp form. Okay, polyp means it's a stationary form, just like we had in the first phylum Poriferans. They're also stagnate, they also attach to substratum and they grow like plant, like this. And these plant like structure, they're not plant, huh? I'm just telling, they look like. So this will give rise to medusa. This will give rise to male and female, or what do you call it, or what do you call it, the medusa form or the free living form. So this kind of metagenesis is known as metagenesis, a life cycle in which half the life cycle is movable, half the life cycle is immovable. So this is known as metagenesis in Obelia. Obelia is the example which exhibit this kind of metagenesis. While you might have seen Aurelia, Aurelia is known as jellyfish. Jellyfish many times we have heard about, right? And we have seen also in any kind of discovery channels, underwater sea, whenever they show you Aurelia because they look very beautiful, right? Aurelia, jellyfish. So jellyfish also comes under coelenterate, and you can see coelenterate. Jellyfish is nicely movable animal, while hydra, you will see it is totally attached, polyp form it is, right? So Obelia is a beautiful example which shows a transition, okay, a transition from immovable to movable. Okay, in between, having two both kind of extreme examples we have in Coelenterata, and Obelia becomes a connective link between these two. Within the same phylum, Coelenterata, you will find a connecting link between some organisms can move, some cannot move, some animals are moving, some animals are not able to locomote. So Obelia is an example having metagenesis, having both half the life cycle not movable, half the life cycle movable. Okay.
Phenomenon is called metagenesis. Some common coelenterids are Physalia, Venatula, Gorgonia, and Meandrina. The next phylum is Ctenophora. Ctenophores
Okay, one
are
minute,
commonly known as
yeah, these organisms, poriferans, coelentrates, and what do you call it, even you might have heard about this coelentrates. Uh, I mean, these ctenophoras are just like jugnu, you call it in fireflies, we call it in might have heard about some flies. Jugnu in Hindi we call it, fireflies in English we call it. They are known as they are having some kind of lights, they emit light when they fly. Okay, right, whenever they fly they emit light. They are known as luminous animals. Okay, illuminating animals, a luminous animal. Luminous means light. Okay, so ctenophoras are, just imagine, illuminating kind of animals in the water. They look so beautiful because of their presence. The water view becomes very beautiful. And these poriferans, coelentrates, ctenophores, these are the aquatic plants, oh sorry, aquatic animals. And that's why, and they are so different colored and the beauty, like coelentrates. I will tell you one example. Corals, you might have heard about corals, right? Corals also come under coelentrates. And you have seen with corals, people make they have got, even you may be having, your mother may be having, or somebody, corals, they make jewelries, and they are very costly jewelry of corals. Okay, so I mean, I just paused you to tell you that these poriferan coelenterate ctenophora makes the aquatic life very beautiful to see. And we seen deep sea divers when they go and see, they things. Okay, just told you for the aesthetic sense. Yeah, we can go ahead.
sea walnuts, or comb jellies. These animals are marine, radially symmetrical, dipoblastic, with tissue level of organization. They have 8 external rows of ciliated comb plates, which help in locomotion. Digestion in these animals is both extracellular and intracellular. A characteristic feature of ctenophores is bioluminescence, or the ability to emit light. Ctenophores are hermaphrodite and exhibit sexual reproduction. In these animals, fertilization is external with indirect development. Pleurobrachia and Ctenoplana are some common ctenophores. The next phylum is
Okay.
Platyhelminthes.
Before before we enter into next phylum, let me tell you a little more about Ctenophora. See, nowhere they've explained the terms, no? Like this is going to go ahead. Ctenophores are which level of organization? Please, you have to hear proper. You have to answer me. Which level of organization? Tissue level. When I was telling you various basic characteristic features, I was telling you till which phylum you will find these characters. Okay, so they are ctenophores are tissue level of organization. Then one more term came here. That's why I wanted to pause, because rest words you will understand when you read also the book, that they are aquatic, they are all those they are they are diploblastic. Diploblastic, you remember now? Two germinal layers, ectoderm and endoderm, right? So they are like that, and they are pseudocoelomate. They don't. They are acoelomate animals, and they don't have what you call this. All characters you will understand the words I have explained you. New word came. I thought, I don't know whether you know or not. When we say sexual reproduction, then there are two ways the reproduction can take place. I mean, the fertilization event, the main event is fertilization. That is the fusion of male and female gamete, is known as fertilization. Now this event can be inside the body or outside the body. If the event take place inside the body, it is known as internal fertilization, like in birds, like in human, like in birds, like many where the fertilization is taking place inside. It is known as internal because the fertilization, the event is taking place inside the body of a female. While when the fertilization is external, that means the male also lay out the gamete outside the body, female also lays out the uh, female gamete outside the body, and the fusion of the gametes take place outside the body is known as external fertilization. For example, in frog, in fishes, like this. Now you can see the example in Ctenophora. So the fertilization is external. The meaning, you understood what you mean by external fertilization? I just paused for that because rest terms I've explained. So ctenophores sexually they reproduce, and they give here, do they have is it direct development or indirect development? Do they have a larval stage? Hello, none of you heard properly. Please unmute anybody who has heard it. Development is in ctenophores, development is direct or indirect?
Ma'am, larval stage is there.
Then it is indirect.
Indirect.
Okay, so yes, if they have larva in their life cycle, it means it is indirect. Okay, so now we are coming to Platyhelminthes. The next, the word tells platy means, now from here I won't be able to say the water kingdom become beautiful, because of this ascal means Platyhelminthes, helminthes. The word no, helminthes means worms. Okay, helminthes means worms. Platy means flat. So the body of the worms which are flat are put in this, and mostly they are parasites. Okay, they are parasites, and you might have heard about Taenia solium. And in human also, they in small children they face this problem of this worms growing inside their intestine and all. That is, they're parasitic in nature. And platy means flatworms. All sort of flatworms come under platyhelminthes. Yes. We can go ahead.
These animals have a dorso-ventrally flattened body and are therefore called flatworms. They are bilaterally symmetrical, trypoblastic, acelomate animals with organ level of organization. Flatworms are mostly
From here, organ level
endoparasites
started.
found in the digestive system of animals, including humans. The parasitic members possess hooks and suckers, and some of them use the surface of their body to absorb nutrients directly from the host. Flatworms have specialized cells called flame cells, which help in osmoregulation and excretion.
Yeah, 1 minute. I have to say something on this. That is, platyhelminthes, as I said, they are the examples. You will find some of, like Taenia solium is the, what you are seeing is a Taenia solium. The name of this organism, this flatworm, is Taenia solium. Now, Taenia solium can live inside the human, and some of the examples see in the cactus. So what they do, they don't want to do much work. They are parasites. So what they have, they don't have digestive system. Why? Because though they are have coming under organ level organization, but then they don't have digestive system, because they don't need to digest. What they do, they grow inside the body of living organism, and they have got hooks. Just before that, you have seen the picture of their mouth. The structure of mouth is like a hook. Suckers they have got, hooks they have got. With these hooks and suckers, they hook themselves on the intestine itself, and with the from the body wall or from the mouth, they suck the blood, digested food directly into their body. So they don't need actually digestive system. But the word I stopped for here is for the flame cells. Flame cell are the characteristic feature, as I told you. One, or when we say organ level, no organs, organ level, when we say, it means one organ performing one function. A flame cell is the organ which will perform the function of excretion. Now, here I pause for two reasons. One, to tell you the new term, it is flame cells. Flame cells you will find further also in insects also. Okay, so the flame cells are responsible for doing excretion. When we say excretion, there are two things happening every time during excretion. The first thing is, of course, taking out the what you call nitrogenous waste from the body outside. Second is, very most important feature is osmoregulation. Osmoregulation means regulating the pH, mineral ion concentration inside the body. Okay, so this is a very important feature which is done by the excretory organ. Like in our body, kidneys does it. Okay, we have got two kidneys. Kidneys are known as the excretory organ. In earthworm, they are having the nephridia. So these excretory organ have the function, two function. Number one, to excrete out the nitrogenous waste from the body, and the second, other very most important function is to osmoregulate, to keep the body in a proper regulated form with the water ion concentration, with the mineral ion concentration, pH, all it, make it proper. So this is done by, achieved by the excretory cells, excretory organs. So flame cells in planaria, or we can say planaria comes under the platyl. Planaria, Taenia solium. Planaria is a free living. It's not a parasite. Okay, Planaria is a free living, while Platyhelminthes is a parasite. So you will